I actually finally came face to face with my downstairs neighbour on Saturday when I came back from shopping, and he was nothing like I expected. He was wearing glasses and he was very politely spoken, and he said good morning, and I said hi and just wandered up the stairs. I was absolutely buggered because at the end of my shopping expedition I was sweating like a pig and just wanted to get back to inside, but yeah, my mind had sort of created this image of this caveman type. It was it's because of all the noises I heard. Like it sounded like maybe weightlifting or moving furniture, and then I'm assuming it was him. But I heard this guy early in the morning, a while back, talking, and it didn't sound like the same guy. It was just very, very weird. But the mind does that, plays tricks. So all in all, I was very relieved because he didn't seem to be the sort of person that'd be an issue. Hopefully he'll keep the place a bit quieter from now on, and won't be any hassles, because that's my only real beef is the early morning noise. But apart from that, yep, it's fine actually. I think the people on ground floor actually have vacated after that incident took place on Sunday at 6 o'clock with a woman scream, so I don't know what the story is there. Oh, it's Wednesday afternoon. It's a perfect day. Really nice weather. I checked out some real estate yesterday. I saw this I had this place marked down at realestate.com.au in Trinity Beach, and it was only $150,000 for a 2-bedroom flat, and it was one street back from the beach, so I knew the actual road at Moore Street. It's not a bad street actually, so I missed out on it. It got sold, which is not surprising because it had quite a nice kitchen, nice sort of view from the rear, lots of vegetation, and had a pretty nice looking pool too. So the thing is, I think things are going to get worse before they get better with the real estate, because there's so much investor stress. I think with the JobKeeper thing finishing, also the rental guarantee finishing up in the end of September, this is going to be a real crunch month. So, I mean, people might already be panicking a bit and actually trying to sell the places before the rot sets in. So that 150 sounded really good. The only thing is, what might be the fly in the ointment with it could have a really high body corporate charge. It could be management on site, and that always pushes your body corporate up to about $5,000 a year or something. So that's an ongoing cost you've got to keep handling. And so, it depends. You've got to look into details to know what's going on. So, but it looked really nice, and I was sort of a bit disappointed I hadn't had a look at it, because I look at the interest I get on my savings and it's just abysmal. I've got fairly good interest rates on mine, but I'm still getting about 1.5%. That's about the best I can get, and which is okay compared to some, but it's nowhere near inflation. You're definitely losing money. So anyway, it's a beautiful day today, and I edited 2 videos yesterday, and it really killed me, because there was a space flight I wanted to put onto the new site I've got. This is Lost in Space, and the actual total mission that I had to edit down was about 1.5 hours, down to about, I think I edited it down to about 14 minutes, so I had a fair bit of editing to do on it. And but I just wanted to get that there and build up that site, because I'm just starting it, and I'm getting a few subs. I've only got 7 subs in each site now. They're both built up a little bit, but it's very small fry compared to what I've got on YouTube, of course. So it's all relative. Here's the shop down there I used to go to for takeaway. I just don't eat takeaway. I cook everything indoors. I should make some videos of the stuff I make. I'll do that. I'll get round to it. I've done it once and people thought it was interesting, so I've got a crappy kitchen. I've really got to get it renovated. I need to get onto this guy who's a cabinet maker. I think he'd be able to do it a lot cheaper than the I got a quote for about 25 grand from a kitchen place. I reckon I don't need to reconfigure the kitchen, I just need new doors and new tops. I don't want to have to necessarily change the whole design, and I should be able to do that a lot cheaper, I would think, and it'd still get a huge improvement in the place. You don't want to over-invest in certain properties either. But yeah, got to think about all that. Oh, another piece of news I wasn't able to put in my video today, but I'll record it now, is my old friend Jackie Chan. He got shafted by the communists. I think he had a mansion in Beijing actually, and they've taken it off him. He's learning about the communist system. His private property's been basically lifted from him by the CCP. So that's a bit of justice there. They'll teach him to choose the wrong horse, as it were. So Jackie Chan, apparently he was on a scumbag list in 2012, so I came to the party pretty late. So he must have been when he actually started supporting the CCP. So I've got no sympathy for the guy. I mean, it's actually well, I think he was. That's right. They said it was about he's been evading taxes. That was the reason given by it. You never know with the communists. I mean, it could be just some trumped up bullshit, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's like sort of elite sports people. They get very greedy and they break rules, and when you get corrupted by money, it's easily done. So probably a good thing I didn't buy those Tesla stock last year. I would have had at least a 5-fold increase in the price if I had. More than that, probably more like 10-fold. It's just phenomenal how much it's gone up. They had a 5-to-1 split on the shares, and they're travelling at about $500 each, and that makes the individual shares beforehand now worth $2,500, and they're only about 145 last year. So actually it's almost like a 20-fold increase or 15-fold increase. That's phenomenal. And I could have got in on it, but I didn't. Oh well, it would have corrupted me all that extra money. So look on the bright side. Yeah. Oh, it's a very pleasant day. Very nice day. Like I say, I could be in a lot worse places than this. I know a few people in Melbourne. I don't think they'd be having as much fun. Not that I'm getting out. I haven't got much in the way of energy at the moment, so I've got a bit of medication going for me, which is slowing me down a bit. Once I get that crap out of my system, wouldn't mind going to Brisbane later, in about a month or two. Seeing I can't go overseas. See how I go. Anyway, up to Willie Creek. This is the short bit, and you've got the long patch coming up. It's a very pleasant walk though. And if I've got the energy, I'll go back via the supermarket and get some supplies. I don't really need them at the moment. But I'm eating pretty well, a lot of healthy food. Had lots of greens last night with pasta and some chicken that I'd cooked up. I cooked up a roast chicken. It's very easy to do. And it's better than buying them from the supermarket already cooked, because I'll just totally nuke them because they don't want to have anyone having salmonella or anything like that. That's why they overcook them. So I put mine in for about 2.5 hours. It's more than enough to cook it properly, and very tasty. I like having a full bird. I don't like actually having breasts and other stuff. I like to actually get the whole bird, and I think it's tastier that way. And like I say, roasting a chicken is one of the easiest things to do. So, and it just gives you a supply of protein for maybe a week if you're just a single guy. So it's good, very versatile. I'm not a big fan of shopping malls at all, the sort of piped Muzak and crap. But I've got to say one thing going for them: there's no wind. Walking up here, constant wind. It's amazing. It's just such a windy city. So I couldn't record anything. I just actually did some visual stuff rather than worrying about getting the. Yeah, it's still windy. It's a little better when I'm going back, so I'll give it a go. Well, it looks like they're moving people on here. Interesting. I've seen a few people just hanging around, actually, just near where I am. There was a guy just was at the foster care place. He's just slumped down outside that at 9:30 in the morning on Sunday. So I guess there'll be a lot of people doing it pretty tough at the moment. This is all the works. I don't know what they're doing here. There's nothing wrong with this walkway as it was, so I'm not quite sure what this is all about. Anyway, I had a long chat with my my cousin yesterday. She rang me and we spoke for about an hour or so, which she usually do. And she was telling me that she'd heard somewhere that since Corona there'd been a 20% reduction in suicides. And I said, what? This is totally counterintuitive to what I would have expected. And so I did some research this morning because I just couldn't work that out. It made no sense at all to me. And I finally found an article where it said in Japan they have had a 20% drop in suicide since Corona because families have been reunited and there's less stress at home with schools and work and what have you. It's all been reduced. Shows that how stressed a society they must be if it's the only place on earth that's actually getting a positive mentally from Corona, because everywhere else it's a negative. And I looked up other articles and there's plenty of anecdotal evidence to show that it is a negative. And there's no figures though. Get this, the latest figures on suicides are 2 years old. I mean, why haven't we got more up-to-date figures on it? That's staggering. I mean, I know the ABS is useless, but Australian Bureau of Stats, that is. But I find that amazing. How can we be that far behind on the stats? So it's all anecdotal, but all the anecdotals from professionals are showing that there's been more calls to, say, Lifeline. There's Beyond Blue's had more inquiries. All the usual stuff you'd expect. It's like a 25% increase or something like that, and that's exactly what I would have expected, maybe even worse. And it could get worse from here because Andrews is making it even tougher. He's going to talk about what he's going to do with lockdowns today, and I don't think it'll be good news. He's a real hard ass, and I think, like I say, I think he just loves the power. And that's another thing I want to talk about, is how pathetic I think Morrison's been, unfortunately. He really should have clamped down on the states. He could have. He's got the financial big stick in Canberra and he didn't use it. He's a bit of a wuss in my opinion. And his national cabinet has actually allowed the states to grandstand and carry on, especially with the elections coming up. I mean, they're just political animals, these premiers. They just want to basically get re-elected, and a number of them are up for re-election at the moment. The first one is going to be Anastasia Palaszczuk. I hope Queenslanders are wake up to her. Not that Deb Frecklington's anything great. I'm not going to vote for either of the major parties. I think they're pretty ordinary. So you can work out who I'm voting for. It wouldn't take a genius to work it out because there's not that many other options. But I haven't voted for major parties for some time now. I think we need to look at different parameters to run the country better. I think we need new people, and I'm just sick to death of the duopoly between Labor and Liberal. Labor basically federally are pretty well unelectable at the moment under Albanese. I think they'll have to get rid of him, but they can't because Shorten made it impossible to get rid of the. Oh no, sorry, it was Rudd made it impossible to get rid of the current leader. Made it almost impossible anyway. So, which is not good, I think, because if you have a dud leader, you don't want to be hanging on to them. And like I say, Morrison's been up and down like a yo-yo. Morrison was close to losing his job, in my opinion, during the fire crisis. It seems a long time off because of all the corona stuff, but he'd really mishandled it. He was having his holiday in Hawaii. He just didn't have a clue. He's very good at spin and messaging, but I don't think he's got much imagination, and I don't think he's a leader for the future. please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.